Good morning, and thank you for allowing me to be a part of today's program. Veterans Day is personally a very special day to me. I'm reminded about my two grandfathers and their service to our nation by this holiday. Their love for their country has been passed down to me, and I'm hopeful that I am passing my love for country down to my children as well. Because of men and women like my grandfathers and these veterans whom we honor here today, you and I have the opportunities that people in other countries will never have. In spite of some of our nation's weaknesses, there is no country like ours, and it is still the greatest nation on the earth, and I'm proud to say that I love my country, and I'm so thankful that these veterans we honor here today love their country too. I mentioned the opportunities that we have in the United States, and it is my hope that students will seize these opportunities to make their lives rich, not necessarily rich by monetary wealth, but rich with experiences, family, friends, and the benefits that come with living the American dream. About 148 years ago, almost to the day, a short speech was given by our greatest president to dedicate a part of a famous Civil War battlefield as a cemetery. You may have heard the speech a time or two. I'd like to read this speech to you in honor of our veterans, and as I read this speech to you, I'd like for you to consider each word that President Lincoln uttered in his Gettysburg Address. As you consider each word, I hope that you will reflect upon the sacrifices that have been made and are being made at this very moment so that you might enjoy the opportunities that you have today. No matter what our circumstances, we all have opportunities, and we are indebted to those men and women who have sacrificed, who have fought, who have bled, and those who have died that we might live. November 19th, 1863. 67 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who here gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do this. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here have consecrated it far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it must never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion, that we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, that this nation, under God, shall have a new birth of freedom, and the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Thank you, and thank you to the men and women who have served the United States of America. We honor you today, and we thank you again.